Sheffield Castle was obliterated from the landscape after it was demolished in 1644. But Sheffield Castle was really at its height in the late 15th and 16th century when it was under the control of the Shrewsbury family. They were fabulously wealthy, especially George Shrewsbury, who made vast amounts of money from mining and shipping, and he was also the person chosen by Queen Elizabeth to be the jailer of Mary Queen of Scots. Well, the castle was not only removed from the consciousness and memory of most of the people of Sheffield, but even serious antiquarians, like Joseph Hunter, for example, Sheffield's greatest antiquarian. They themselves couldn't agree where Sheffield Castle was. And some people thought it was at the junction of the Sheaf and the Don, where we now think it is. Other people thought it was in the Rivers Valley. As archaeologists, we're very keen to dig this out of the castle because we'd really like to know what Sheffield Castle looked like and what people did there during the Middle Ages. But also this site is ripe for redevelopment, and we really need to establish the state of the archaeology before that development can take place. Excavations were carried out at Sheffield Castle in the 1920s and in the 1950s. On both occasions, significant archaeological objects and archaeological deposits were found. Significant traces of the castle were found in both cases, but we've never been able to study the results of those excavations in detail because no resources were available. Luckily, we were left some money by one of our former graduates, a lady called Pamela Staunton, and we used that money to digitise all the records from those excavations. These archives are very important in terms of guiding where future excavations should take place on the site of Sheffield Castle. They allow us to say, for example, where the archaeological deposits survive well. They also allow us to say where archaeological deposits will have been damaged by foundations in the past.
The pier is a temporary structure. It's going to come out from Exchange Street and hover across the top of the castle site. So when people are standing at the end of the pier, they can look down and they can see the remains being excavated, coming out of the ground and really sort of revealing the history of what now is buried. The thing about Castlegate, it's got amazing history, but it's so hidden. And I think the wonderful thing about what we're doing now with our colleagues in archaeology and various other departments in the university is we can really pool our resources to understand how to bring that history to life.
And that kind of collaboration will become more important as we move towards the regeneration of the site so that we can get a consensus on what that regeneration should look like and also how it might best benefit the people of Sheffield. We've received money from the Arts and Humanities Research Council to develop a virtual reality model of the castle. And the real benefit of that virtual reality model is that we'll bring the castle back into people's consciousness, allow people to experience the castle as it would have been in the late 15th and early 16th century. Well, the castle has been lost for so long. We've had some tantalising glimpses of it in photographs in the 1950s. In plans, we've seen the outline of the castle, but to see it kind of rise up in front of us is absolutely fantastic. And I think it's fantastic not just because it shows us what the castle would have looked like, but it also restores to the people of Sheffield this really significant part of their heritage.